Hello world, I'm back. Yes, it feels good to be back. But, in case you didn't know, I go by the name of Joffey Joe. And this is the show, Call It How I See It. And on today's episode, I got a couple of teams I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, it's the NBA playoffs, and we're in this conference semifinals. Yes, things are starting to heat up. And shout out to the Knicks, because that was a good win last night. I got to admit. I mean, I didn't think they would pull off two in Boston, but I have Pratt in the house, and we dive into that series along with all the other series going on, and we're going to break down what we've seen so far in this conference semifinals because things are starting to get spicy. And next up, I have Jan Carlo because we have another pay-per-view that we need to discuss in UFC. UFC 315 is finally here, and we're here to talk about it. And we're going to break some things down as we get y'all prepared for this weekend and the fights that are coming up. And finally, we're going to recap last weekend's fight card with Carlitos as we square up. Yes, we talk about Ryan Garcia's disappointment with Rolly Romero, Canelo fighting somebody that didn't really matter, Teofimo Lopez looking good, and Inwa looking good on Sunday night. It was a good showing from the people that were good, but the rest of it didn't look too good, honestly. So, you don't want to miss out on this action-packed episode. And we're back this week, and there's been a lot going on in the NBA playoffs, so I thought it was very fitting to get my man Glenn Pratt in the house. How you doing, G?
Yo, Joffey, when I hear from my man Joffey, time to call it how I see it. Let's get it.
And we're going to get it, G. So, we're going to break some of the things that have happened as we catch up in the sports storyline and timeline of things. But in the NBA Semi-Conference Finals, we've had some pretty good, interesting things happen. A lot of comebacks, a lot of, favorites in terms of 60-win teams here, having blanks, drawing up blanks, and not being able to finish off games here. Talking about you, Cleveland Cavaliers. But it's been really pretty entertaining so far, none to say the least, and I'm definitely expecting some good matchups. Some of the matchups I wanted to talk about that, one of these games are about to run in a little bit at 7 o'clock with the Knicks and the Celtics in their game 2 playing in Boston. But I wanted to break down that one first, G, and I actually wanted to get into more detail about the second round with you first. So let's, I wanted to ask you, what do you think has been the biggest surprise so far in the second round?
Well, the bottom line, man, I mean, records are one thing. You accumulate a record during the season. You play a lot of bad teams in there, so you can accumulate a good record, even though Cleveland and OKC, they played good against good teams too all season. So they compiled a record that said that they were the two top teams in each conference. But this second round, all of the home teams lost.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, what are the first game anyway? You're like, wow, really rested? There's that rust to rest thing comes into play.
Yeah.
Man, and then let me tell you something. Indiana, listen, I didn't get to see him a lot. I know you hear Halliburton's name.
Yeah.
Bro.
What a player.
Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
At one point in that game, I was watching it with a friend. I said, dude, they can't stop this cat. I said, he could get to the basket. And there were 2 times in a row, he went, boom, 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 layup.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 layup. I mean, 2 times. And then how it ended, come on, man. So Cleveland's in a hole. To me, I mean, Boston, to me, they bounced back tonight big. I mean, they missed a lot of threes. They couldn't throw the ball in the ocean from 3 that first game.
I know.
This game here, and they still almost, they didn't put to overtime to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, Porzingis had no points. Listen, trust me. They'll be okay. Boston's going to be okay. Cleveland, I'm a little worried about. Denver's got a good team, man. I mean, they got the Joker.
They've done it.
So,
I mean,
you can't just, roll the ball out there. I mean, you got to play the game okay, see? You got to bring what you did during the season. You got to bring it down, too. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Denver's no slouch.
No, for
So
sure.
you got Curry's hurting the other series. I mean, where's that going to go? You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting.
No,
Absolutely.
things are breaking down. That series definitely can get a little interesting. I mean, we saw Buddy Hield kind of take over last night and Jimmy Butler do their thing, but it was good enough. I mean, people stepping up in the crucial times that they need to. It's really crucial. But I wanted to swing over to real quick to the Celtics. I mean, so you think they're going to come back, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, this will blow out tonight. Blowout.
No, you make a lot of good points.
JT's bringing it.
No, for sure. I mean, he definitely. I guess everyone looked pretty cold on their side. Like they were hitting and then they got cold and the Knicks were able to come back and break down from a 20-point deficit, which was pretty crazy. But you make a good point, G. In a 7-game stretch, how bad is Boston really going to shoot the ball like that? I mean, honestly, it's very rare. And I mean, I think they like their odds and probability of and that's kind of where analytics kind of kick in and stuff. But I mean, historically they've been hitting the 3 very regular season and everything. They've been doing it, and we know that's part of their game now. But, like I said, in the long stretch of things, I think they're going to be hitting their shots. And they barely lost. They went to overtime with them not hitting their shots. So that speaks virtues and everything right there. So, but even tonight with, OKC and, Jokic and the Nuggets and stuff, Aaron Gordon, once again, another game winner. So that's pretty big on their part. It is. But, I mean, with Jokic, we all see it, bro. He is really the best player in the world. I mean, we could say that SGA is probably going to win the MVP this year. But, when it comes down to it, he is hands down the best player in the world. No one can argue that. We've all seen it on the court, and he just wills his team. No matter who the coach is, he's the guy. He is the guy.
He passes the eyeball test. He fills up the stat sheet.
Yeah.
To me, it's all there, man. I mean,
it's tough to go against him, and that's
what a player.
I know, really, honestly, it's really crazy. So, I know I want to dive into a little bit more of the Celtics and Knicks. So, with that, what do you think this series is going to break down into? Like, do you think the Celtics can straight sweep out, or do you think they can just think it's going to be a little bit of a fight?
Knicks, to me, Brunson's that kind of player who, man, he's a difference maker, man.
No, for
I'm
sure.
telling you, Brunson is a player.
He is.
I mean, a straight player, man.
It's really
he
crazy.
can do it all. So, he gets a little help from Towns, and Anunoby. I mean, they're not going to be an easy out, but I think Boston is going to handle the business. Can the Knicks win another one at home? A 4-2 final, a 4-2 finish. Okay, since they got the opening one, they get blown out tonight. That's just my prediction.
Yeah,
Boston blows them out tonight. We go to New York, and do they split there? I just think at the end of the day, 4-2 Boston at this point. Knicks are good, man. They're good. They got a nice team.
I mean,
but I think Boston's better.
No, for sure. I mean, even in like their last 10 games, I believe the Celtics have beat them 8 times and stuff. So like the Knicks have kind of struggled also too. This is also a new pieces that we have to consider. I mean, but I did see some I saw Mikal Bridges really do like the dirty work and the dog work from taking the ball at the end of the game, hitting the 3 and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of why he's there. I mean, he's not asked to be like the main guy, but he's doing like this other he's putting his skill sets in other areas that are really helping the team out, and that was really big for them on that big win. I mean, they knew that Jaylen Brown was going to get the ball at the end, and then just ripped it right out of his hands.
Man, Bridges is an effective player. I didn't even see him, dude. I'm telling you, they got a nice team. I mean,
they do.
They do. So I mean, are they on Boston level? Not in my opinion, but they're right there. I mean, they're going to be not going to be an easy out.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting. Should be fun.
I can see things matching up like that too.
Right.
It's kind of funny though, G. I mean, me being a Sixers fan, I'm kind of rooting for the Knicks here, man. I don't know who I am. I guess it's the Nova factor here. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's tough to do, but I'm just like, if I did have
either way,
yeah.
For a Philly fan, I mean, you really want somehow for both of them to lose. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying?
It's got me in a funny spot here, man. But I kind of like, I guess because I guess instinctively I've seen, I rooted for these guys over Nova, and now it's like, it's cool to see this, transpire this way. Even though they don't have like DiVincenzo like they did last year, but getting Mikal in there, it's cool to watch. But like I said, G, I don't know, like. Going against Boston, whether Porzingis is in or out, and Holiday's kind of still nicked up a little bit, but other people step up like Pritchard, and I think Hauser got a little banged up, but I mean like these other guys have been stepping up, and they're starting to show that they do have some other guys that can contribute to other than me.
Derek White, Pritchard. They got some role players that know their role, and tonight's I think we're gonna get a real Boston game tonight.
It's gonna be a party tonight in Boston.
I can see it. Yeah,
for sure. All right, so one thing I just want to wrap up here. So we've seen we've seen teams come back, and I was going to say, since most of these teams are more on the youthful side of things, do you think the factor of youth in some of these teams can prevent a team from winning a title and going all the way, like OKC or even like Cleveland's kind of going through the Timberwolves? Like, what do you think?
Well, youth, to me, I always say when it comes to championship teams, you have to sprinkle a little bit of youth with a little bit of veterans. I think, to me, that's the perfect combination for a championship team. OKC, last year they were one of the top teams. Were they top team last year too?
I believe so. Yes. I believe so.
So I mean, they've been putting it together during the regular season. They're one more year in. Right. I mean, I think they still got a young team. Right. I still think they got enough to. I think they have enough to beat Denver. I mean, Denver's not going to be an easy out though because of their veterans sprinkled in with their youth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of that throughout. Indiana's another one.
Yes.
Boston has that. I mean, they all have. I guess you got a couple veterans here and there sprinkled in with the youth. They're all. I mean. I'm still going to go OKC and Boston to be in the final because I just think they're the better teams.
Right.
And I just think with the youthful players on these teams are only going to help the veterans and do what they have to do. But Golden State, too, is another one who has a lot of veterans. Or not a lot. I mean, Curry and Draymond.
And Jimmy.
And you got, what's the, Brzezinski?
Oh, Brzezinski. Yeah, he's still pretty young. Yeah.
He's still youthful. I mean, they got
a couple of
veterans. So, I mean, like I said, to me, you need a percentage or a nice combination of youth and veteran leadership on the team. And I think these youthful guys are that much more a year in, and I still think that I'm going Boston OKC, man.
Okay, I can see
it's
it.
The better teams, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean, also too, like if you were to break down a long series, you would think that the better teams end up winning. That's what That's what the odds makers.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, back to the youth factor here. I mean, I guess like sometimes like the youth factor gets put into light just because of like comebacks and situations that where things get really stressful and in a vital game or a serious game, and sometimes
They get tight.
yeah, things get tight, and sometimes being youthful, not being in that spot, in that usually you're getting thrown in that moment. Sometimes there's a choke factor, or just like it's either you react or you do, and I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see. I see Cleveland kind of had a hard time with that, but I mean, with Indiana, it seems like they're capitalizing in that moment. They're running with it, so you see like a lot of powerful things going on with that, and it's really cool. And back to OKC, I mean, that's like they got the kind of the other end of it, where like Holmgren's missing the free throws and everything, and kind of set them back a little bit too. So like it's just being through this experience and going through it. I mean, we see like Anthony Edwards kind of excelling. I mean, going through playoff runs and winning series. It's just like going through that experience makes you more prepared for the moment, and then that's why I guess we're trying to see if OKC can figure it out, because once they figure it out, I definitely can think they could be in the finals with the Celtics, or
that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah,
so.
No, for sure. But that's why we're gonna tune in and watch it all.
Absolutely.
But G, I appreciate you coming on and shooting the shits with me.
When I hear from Joffey, man, I'm always down to call it how I see it.
No, thank you.
Appreciate
G.
you having me, Joffey. Always. Man.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure. All right, and we're back, and look who we have in the house, the one and only Jan Carlo Esco. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Got some good fights coming up this weekend. Can't wait to talk about it.
Absolutely, and that's why I have you in the house. We have you here so we can discuss it, talk about it, and get into further details about it. So we have UFC 315 this weekend, and it's pulling up into Montreal, and it's been I think the first time in like 10 years that they pulled up over there. But they got some even hometown heroes on the card fighting around there, so it should be an interesting card. But as I talk about the card, I want to hear what you think about what match most excites you on the undercard coming into this pay-per-view.
Believe it or not, it's the opening fight of the evening. Brad Katona against the guy from Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
Brad Katona, former Ultimate Fighter winner, 2-2 so far in the UFC. Kind of curious, what do you got? Being an Ultimate Fighter winner, the expectations are kind of high. And then this other guy, the name's not slipping off the top of my head right now, but he only has one fight in the UFC, and it's a 3-round decision loss to Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, that speaks for itself.
It's everybody loses to Umar except Merab, so
right.
I think it's a good test to see where Katona's at.
Okay.
No, UFC is not very long.
No, for sure. I mean, like we all know the timetable. Sometimes fighters get a certain time of window, and then some just window they're closed right up on them. But okay, that's pretty interesting. What do you think about the main event coming in?
Snore. It's almost a snooze fest, but it's not.
Yeah.
Bilal fights the way he fights to win.
Right.
And, hate it, call it boring. We say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather in a sense.
Right.
This guy JDM is not a joke.
Right.
I wouldn't want to stay on the feet. Bilal is known for trying to take it to where other guys' strengths are. This is not the time to do that.
No.
But it's not an easy first test for a first title defense. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. I mean, this would be his first title defense, if I'm correct, right? He beat Leon Edwards, and this would be his first defense since he took the belt from Leon in like last July, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely all eyes are definitely gonna be on Bilal here. It's definitely gonna be an interesting scrap. I mean, like if we were gonna look at it, it's kind of like a grappler versus a striker battle. But I think both of these fighters are kind of they're well rounded, and they can also test their skill sets in different areas and stuff. But I mean, if we're looking at Della here, man, I mean he's on a 5-win streak. I think both fighters are actually on 5-win streak. Man, that was tough to say. I'm really looking bad here. But no, we're gonna finish this. But which we'll call it. No, but I mean, coming in, this is definitely, on paper and, in terms of selling pay-per-views, this may not look like the most exciting, but I think for this welterweight division, this is really big. I mean, I definitely think Della has, earned his spot in this fight. Coming in, like I said, coming in from Australia and everything and looking good in his last couple of bouts. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, from the one fight, I remember he kind of came from behind and was able to win. Some other fights, against like Kevin Holland, he came, looked good against him in that fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he takes on Bilal, and because Bilal kind of just like suffocates you, man. Honestly, he just got that style.
That's his key to victory, though. If he applies the pressure and stays on top of him, it's not easy. And then he trains with the Daggies. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like we know where he's he established his training resume, and even now look, he's helping a lot of other fighters out too. He's training with them and stuff. He's becoming like a good leader in that sport.
Bilal comes off as like a boring guy, but he's not a bad guy.
No, not at all. But I mean, like
His fighting style is an acquired taste. JDM needs to use the one advantage he has here. Well, one of his advantages. He's 8 years younger.
yeah, I know that's a big thing too.
Use it.
Yeah, exactly. Use the youth factor. I mean, he was on if I'm wrong, was he not on which one called? Wasn't he on was he on what was the show called? The Contender?
The Contender. He was either on the Contender or the Ultimate Fighter, one of those shows.
Yeah, I believe so. I think like maybe in 2021, I think he was there, and then like ever since he came out there, he came out guns blazing and looked really good. So it's interesting to see how he's like been able to climb up the ranks in that division and everything. I mean, this is a pretty big fight here. Definitely worth the main event minus the pizzazz and everything around it. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna be tuning in and watching and seeing what happens. So
Yeah.
for sure. I just want to throw in I think one fight that actually is interesting just because they got Zahabi, excuse me. It's been a while since I've seen him fight, but I mean, I'm interested to see how he's going to react with being in Montreal fighting Jose Aldo. I mean, like if he can not, get in a good scrap with him, a good skirmish. I mean, like crowd's going to go crazy over there. I mean, it's been a while since they've been there. I mean, having a fighter come in and looking good there, it might be really exciting for them to see.
Jose Aldo's just an ageless wonder, though. He just keeps coming.
I know, you have to give him credit. I mean, I think this is going to be like his 41st bout or something like that. And being at the age he is at 38, I believe now. And
Might have been in the Hall of Fame already.
he is in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. I mean, what he's put his body through. Yeah, exactly. He's the first. Like, there's no doubt about it. What he's done for that sport, and sacrificing his body in the way he has and stuff, and his reign of championships and everything. Like, there's a very decorated fighter, and I got to give him credit. He knows he's not where he used to be, but to still get in there and do his thing, I got to give a man like that some credit. But I'm interested to see how that's going to bang out, and because that in the bantamweight division and things breaking down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody taking anything from Marab anytime soon.
Right.
But it's a good scrap to see where this guy's at. Aldo is a pretty good measuring stick for him. But let's not forget the co-main event because it is a championship fight.
Yeah, we have the flyweight in terms of Shevchenko and I believe what's her name, Manion Furiat. She's French, right?
Yeah, Furiat versus Shevchenko. It's an interesting fight.
Yes.
Shevchenko is the first fighter to have all 8 rubies on her UFC belt.
Yeah, she has a really decorated career, honestly.
Good.
Yes, I mean she had her battles with Alexa Grosso, right? She's on the card too. But I mean they had that, and I mean where Shevchenko is in her career. I mean she's 37. I mean looking like it was kind of looking like after the first bout, where after they had their bouts, it kind of looked like she was kind of on down, and then she came back and won the belt and everything, and looks pretty strong now. So it looks like she can be legitimate for maybe have another run in her, but this is gonna be a tough challenge because this girl too is.
Furiat's not a joke, but I think Shevchenko has enough to win. You just mentioned Grasso.
Yeah, she's on the card too, and she's fighting Natalia Silva. That's gonna be a good bout there. Natalia Silva's up and coming.
And Grasso is the underdog in that fight.
I know, so we're gonna see how that breaks down. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how Grasso comes back. I mean, after losing the belt and everything.
I mean, she's a striker, and I don't see a lot of power there. I do, but I don't. I don't think it's gonna be enough to bother Silva. I do think Silva can win. Silva wins that fight.
I mean, ever since she's came into the UFC, she's been guns blazing. She's 6-0 right now, basically, and then she's got some good wins over Andrea Lee and other girls like Jessica Andrade and stuff like that. So I mean, she's definitely coming up the ranks in that division, and if she gets this notch, I mean, she could even end up in the championship fight with that flag. Next go round?
I think winning this fight gets her,
pushes her over for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Andrade is on the undercard too.
Yes, so it's definitely they're definitely showing the women a lot of love on this card.
There's some names there.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, I think for the most part, I think this card's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in and watching. But moving forward in the future, what are some things you're looking forward to that might break down in other pay-per-views?
I want to know who's the main event of International Fight Week because we still don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Khamzat versus Dricus du Plessis.
Okay.
And du Plessis is hurt.
Right.
The was Islam versus Topuria, but Islam is not making any announcements or decisions till after this fight.
Yeah.
If Bilal loses, I believe he's going to vacate, move up, and challenge for the belt.
Wow. Okay.
Because he won't fight a friend or a teammate. So it's
right.
Affect the loyalty. I'm excited for Holloway Poirier 3. I mean,
that announcement coming out last week was pretty big.
It wasn't the fight to me. To be honest, it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
Because Dustin is 2-0 against Max.
Yeah.
But who he wanted didn't make sense. Dustin wanted to fight Gaethje, who was probably in line for a title shot.
Right. The timing isn't there. Plus, they were trying to get that fight to happen down there. right? It's gonna happen in Louisiana.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
Yeah,
And
so I mean,
KG had no reason to take that fight.
right? It was kind of almost. It could almost be looked at like a setup with the
Yo,
hometown crowd and everything.
the sleeper one that I'm ready for,
Yeah.
Buckley versus Usman.
Okay.
I'm very interested in that.
It's been how long since Usman's been in the ring or the
Since he
octagon?
lost the decision, since he lost the decision to Leon.
Right. That's been a while. So that's definitely gonna be interesting.
And Buckley hits hard.
Yeah.
You know, ask Kobe Covington about that.
Exactly.
You know?
That's funny.
That's gonna be fun. That's coming up right after the Newark card. That should be interesting. You know, I'm very excited to see where the UFC goes when they go away from ESPN next year.
Yeah, I saw that's going to break down too. That was an interesting move, just because of the TKO agreement.
If they go away from the pay-per-view structure, I believe that you will get more viewers.
Okay. No, for sure. I mean, it's all about access. I mean, if you can push out your product in the right way and everything, everyone will tune in through the access.
I did the math. If you, like for ESPN Plus and all the pay-per-views, if you're an absolute fanatic and you must pay for it, you're like 1,200, 1,300.
Wow.
Easy.
Wow.
Easy. The way things are right now, you ain't spending money like that.
No, for sure. I mean, we're all trying to be economically conscious here and stuff. But we'll see how things, like, for sure. This is definitely some good breakdown of things and what to expect to come in, you know, in the next couple months and everything.
Right.
But like you said, I'm excited to see some of this stuff, especially the Poirier and Holloway. You know, that's gonna be a good fight. I mean, I think Holloway, you know, wants to prove something that he can, you know.
And I don't think it's an easy fight for Dustin to take as a retirement fight.
Right.
Because even though Max got knocked out by Ilya, the last time Max was at 155, he slept Gaethje.
You're right. Exactly.
It's going to be a highlight knockout in UFC history.
Right.
It's dangerous.
No, for sure. You got to watch out for that.
Yeah, so it makes it all more intriguing because Max looks a little more comfortable at heavier weight.
Right.
But we'll see.
No,
we'll see him. It's definitely going to be a pro Poirier crowd.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, that's going to be it's definitely, I would almost say it's like, you know, 98% maybe.
Yeah, like, I'm going to be torn in the middle because I like both guys.
I know. But, I mean, you got to give Holloway props, too, to even, like, go down in that type of setting and take the fight like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Under it being more under, you know, Poirier's stipulations and stuff. But, you know, you got to give kudos for that.
Yeah, because the UFC hasn't shown Holloway no love. They haven't given no UFC in Hawaii.
No, I know, exactly.
And, you know, all respect to BJ Penn, but I think Max Holloway is the best fighter to ever come out of Hawaii.
Okay, that's a good take there. But, I mean, decorated career for sure. Having both decorated careers, but, you know.
They're both going to have CTE down the road, so it doesn't really matter.
But you know, cultural-wise, they're true warriors, you know what I mean? You see their spirit come out in the ring and everything. It's really good to see fighters like that. But, all right, JC, I think we got to wrap this one up. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do.
All right, brother. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Until next time, my friend.
All right.
And for our final take, we have the one and only CarlitosWayWorldTv in the house. How you doing, Carlitos?
What's up, Joe? Chilling over here at the cribby, waiting for this good show to start and this take.
Yes, and we're going to start it up the right way. Because you know why I have you here, Carlitos. It's time to square up and talk some boxing. Because there are some things that happened last weekend, and to the dismay of a majority of people out there, a lot of people would say last weekend was a big letdown. But, you know, that's why I have you here to, you know, break things down for people out there that may not know what happened last weekend. But I'm going to let you take the floor as I ask you an important question. What do you think was the biggest takeaway from last weekend's eventful cards of fighting?
Yeah, so last weekend, I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm just going to tell like it. I'm gonna call it how I see it. All right,
yeah.
You know, shit was boring as fuck.
Whoa.
All right, most of the fights were all boring. That Fatal Fury at Times Square with freaking David Haney versus Jose Ramirez. We had Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. We had Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. That's probably was the only entertaining fight.
Right.
That Teofimo Lopez fight. And then we had freaking that was on Friday, and then on Saturday we had Canelo versus some freaking Cuban fighter, and from the highlights that I've seen, this guy is just fucking doing the Cuban dance, doing the whole fucking circle around the fucking ring. And then we have Ryan Garcia fucking getting knocked down. I mean, it's understandable, getting knocked down in the second round. And then we have fucking David Haney doing the fucking chicken dance the first freaking round. It reminds me of the fucking scene of Don't Be a Menace, of Crazy Legs doing the daydreaming, of him doing the MC Hammer dance when he comes down and doing the those were the legs that Devin Haney was doing at that first round. It was pretty, I don't know, it was pretty crazy. I don't know, just like
freaking showing off his dancing moves, Carlitos.
It was pretty bad.
He's just doing more things to like get clowned on.
I think it was in history less punches thrown in a 12-round fight or something like that.
Yes, I saw that as a stat pop up.
And then on Saturday, the guy that fought Canelo beat the freaking record the next day.
Yeah, of course.
So that's crazy. But then we have on Sunday night at like around 12 or 11 p.m. Meanwhile from Japan.
Yes.
Kicked somebody's ass over there. Some Mexican. So he gets knocked down. Some guy from Japan. Meanwhile, he's just knocking out people. He's like a weight class below featherweight.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. And then he faces some Mexican. This is his first time coming in America in like years or ever. And then it's a homecoming to USA on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And then he saves boxing, for a very good, entertaining fight. He gets put down. He gets knocked down in the second round, gets back up, and then knocks this guy out in like, 8th, 7th round.
That was pretty crazy. But, a lot of things swung at that. But go ahead.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. This guy's good. He's entertaining. He's like I don't know, kind of reminds me like Pacquiao in a way where he's just coming in. But he's not like going through weight classes like that. He's just really entertaining. And he's knocking out people, and he's humble.
Yeah.
He's not doing the fucking running around the ring, doing the fucking flashy shit, that bullshit.
No, there's some, he's got some honor to his fighting.
Yeah, it's just in the Times Square, it's just like, you would think, like, a fight in Times Square would be very crazy and explosive. The idea was cool.
Right.
It was nice, historical, but the event was a letdown.
For sure. This isn't 1999 anymore, Carlitos. Times Square isn't popping like that anymore, at least for the boxing scene.
Yeah, if it was like some Mike Tyson, that would have been like, I don't know.
It would have pushed things
crazy.
over. Yeah. But it's, we're in a different age now where, it's like
everybody's fighting for money.
Yeah, it's a money grab, exactly. And that's why press conferences are turning into what they're turning into, just to help the fight and add more hype and add more fuel to the fire of everything. But yeah, that's a good breakdown. For the most part, you definitely hit the nails on the head on everything. I think Lopez, from what I saw in the highlights as well, was probably definitely the best fight there. He showed out. I think, he's a straight killer, man. He's legitimate good fighter.
Yeah, he's entertaining. Entertaining. Even when his interviews, he doesn't even like entertain the bullshit.
He has no filter.
Even though like he doesn't even it's not even the filter. It's just like he doesn't entertain the bullshit. These guys are like like doing these interviews. These people that give out these interviews, they come up with these freaking like crazy matchmakers. Like these I don't know, like video game
hypotheticals and stuff.
Yeah,
they're not even
like
realistic.
That. Yeah, and then this guy, I'm looking at him, like, seeing these interviews, Inoue, the guy from Japan, he just not, like, just saying, like, stop.
Where do you think Inoue is right now? If you were to say, like, pound for pound right now? He's definitely top 5, you would say, right?
He's like, he's
top
probably,
3.
like, I feel like he could be, like,
he's up there,
2
for sure.
or 1 for me.
Right. He's like 1A, 1B.
He could be 2 for 1. Canelo is just, like, I don't know. I'm getting tired of watching him fighting these little...
For they find these tomato cans.
These tune-ups. Like, I understand he's trying to get them belts again, but let's see... Now let's see Benavidez now. Let's see Benavidez.
Make it happen, right?
Let's see Bivol again, or better beef, or something like that.
Something like that. Something more challenging.
Yeah, something like that. And then, so we got fights coming up.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up next. Yeah, I did want to bring up next. What fight out there brings you the most excitement to see next?
We got some Mexican dude fighting over there May 11th. So I'm pretty sure. Is that May 11th?
This coming weekend.
Some dude, Navarrete Nogate or something like that. He's fighting. That's coming up. I think you got Usyk coming. Usyk versus Debase.
Yeah, Danny Dubois.
Yeah, him. They're gonna fight again. They had like a controversial first match.
Yeah.
When he hit Usyk in the body, and then he went down, and they called it a low blow. Should have been a knockdown or a knockout or whatever, but referee counted as a 10 count low blow. Right. So, that was. So they're doing on number 2. And then what else? We have Charlo. He's coming back from, how many years ago laid off? One of the Charlo brothers.
Yeah.
And he's fighting a local fighter over here in New Jersey. I think something like Melville or some shit like that. So, and Khaled Plant is fighting on that undercard. Well, I think actually, I'm not sure who's on the undercard. I think it's Khaled Plant's fight. So Khaled Plant's fight is the headliner. And then on the undercard, you got Charlo versus some guy in Lane Lamana from New Jersey.
Okay.
So he's on a win streak, and he's stepping up versus Charlo, and Charlo's coming back from a long layoff. So let's see how that goes.
We'll definitely see how things break down. The one Charlo fought Canelo, right? No.
This is one of the. I think this is the undefeated one. I don't think it's the one that fucking.
Okay, the one.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is the this is the undefeated one.
Okay, so
Because
because the other one was supposed to fight initially, and then the other, and you couldn't.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that. Yeah,
But no, I get what
the
you're
one that's just the one that's coming back is undefeated.
The one that didn't fight last. Okay, because I get them confused, man. I don't. Freaking
Yeah, they're twins. They're not like they're pretty close to twins. I think so.
Yeah, they're like the same.
I think one year older than the other, but they just look identical. So.
Right. But I mean, no, you hit the nail on the head. You rung the bell over a lot here, Carlitos. I mean, you did your thing. You definitely broke down last week's boxing events and everything. I appreciate you coming on.
Yep. So you guys, I'm here.
Go ahead. Tell them what it is.
Yeah. So CarlitosWayWorldTv, follow me, subscribe. CarlitosWayWorldTV, follow me and subscribe, and don't forget to watch How You See a Show. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm whispering. I got the kids around to sleep in. I think my girl's trying to airdrop. So we out. Peace.
All right. Peace out, y'all. Before we get more eavesdrop.